Hello, Internet. How are we doing tonight? How are we doing? We having a good Thursday? Hope everybody's having a good one. It is almost Friday. We've almost made it, folks. I had to go to the doctor today. It's another interesting experience. They don't like me there. They don't like me very much at all. I was thinking it was some sort of, I thought it was just in my head, but now I'm pretty sure they got something in my chart that just tells people to not like me, because they don't seem to like me very much right off the bat, like before anything even starts. And yeah, everybody's just kind of rude. It might be because I'm refusing to wear a mask. They didn't even ask me this time, though. I just didn't wear one. They got a sign there. Everybody's wearing a freaking mask. It's unbelievable. Scotts Valley, California, Kaiser. It's everybody in there's wearing a mask, and there's no reason for it. There's a sign up that says it's optional. Danger. How you doing? Nice to see you. And everybody just complies. Everybody just wears the mask, and it's annoying because it's only like that here. It's only like that in the Bay Area, probably some places in LA. Everywhere else isn't like that. It's probably like that in like New York City, all that kind of crap. But it drives me insane. But yeah, they were rude to me today. I had to go to the ear, nose, and throat specialist, and they had to shove a scope up my nose. That was really fun to look down my throat. Everything's looking fine, apparently. Everything's A-okay. But the nurse did ask me. She told me I was behind on my COVID. She said, you're behind on your COVID vaccine and your flu vaccine, and you're overdue for some other vaccine. Tuberculosis. I don't know what it was. It was some other vaccine. And it was like a long silence in between too. And I just said, do you get paid extra to ask me that? And she didn't say a word. And she just turned to the door and walked right out. It's pretty funny. And it's probably one of the reasons why they like me. But I'm starting to wonder if there's something in my chart that they put, like I'm a difficult patient or something in my chart. Because yeah, they don't seem to like me too much. And yeah, I talked about it a little bit on the internet when I got home, and I just got swarmed by the bots again. It was just, it's so weird. It might be because I kind of roasted Ed Krasenstein earlier. Every time I get swarmed by a bunch of bots on the old Twitter platform there, they always seem to have one thing in common. It's followed by Ed and Brian Krasenstein, like every single time. And I was kind of roasting Ed a little bit earlier, so could be the reason. There's also, I'll show you guys this. There's some weird things have been happening. There's accounts that get created, and they've been created recently, and they'll comment on my stuff periodically, often, and it's always something negative. And finally, I'll just click on the account. But what's the weird thing is every now and then they'll say something nice. It's weird. It's really weird. And then I click on the account, and I realize that they've never posted anything. And then I go to replies, and the only people they've ever replied to are me. And it's bizarre. It's weird. And I discovered another one of them today. And right after I blocked this account, I discovered another one of them. And I responded to him, and then he deleted his account. It's weird. There's another one. There's this one account called Riptide something or other. And I blocked him, but he would still show up in my comments, not responding to me, responding to other people that have responded to my posts, which means he's like following me from another account and then like texting replies to my posts to himself so he can reply to those, because that would be the only way he could see them. It's just bizarre. Here, let me actually show you guys. So yeah, this one here. So it's like a brand new account. Actually, I'll leave the screen big so you guys can see this one. So this guy here, it's just the only reason I'm showing you guys is because it's weird. It's freaking bizarre. Like, why would you do this? So this dude, GG Bonkers Now, was following one person. Who do you think? And I don't even think that person was me. So that's the other thing. They don't follow me. They just comment on like everything of mine. And yeah, so I noticed, I was like, okay, you respond to me a lot. This is really weird. You only have 9. So I decided to click on their account, and then they haven't posted anything. And the account was made very recently, but you see They've only ever responded to me. This is their replies tab. And this is it. They've only ever responded to me. No one else. Like, what the heck? So I have either like weirdo stalker people or it's my assigned federal agent. But I joke about that, but I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. So I thought that was weird. Thought I'd share it with you guys. All right. Let's see. How's everybody doing tonight? You guys good? You guys are quiet in the chat. Let me see. Make sure I'm actually streaming on all the platforms here. Let's see. All right. There we go. They probably put their chart. Yeah. They probably put it on the chart that I bite. I don't bite people. I did have an incident. At Kaiser during or after a surgery. And yeah, an incident with security. So yeah, I'm not this whole I never had issues with doctors, never had issues at hospitals or anything, but COVID changed everything. And I had to go get a meniscus surgery back in like April of 2022, I think. Might have been a little later than that. And yeah, they had to remove like 30% of my meniscus. And I was seriously terrified that they were going like, it's crazy in my brain that I was even thinking this, but I was scared they were going to give me the COVID vaccine while I was under. I was genuinely concerned about that. That's how psychotic that the medical community acts. Another person I told how I said to the nurse, do you get paid extra to ask me that? And somebody started responding from here in Santa Cruz saying, I'm local. I hope I see you on the trails, this kind of that thing. And he was like, how would you feel if somebody on an e-bike ran you over and left you broken on the side of the ground? And I was like, what? Like, what? because I talk shit to this nurse? It's like, all right, I hope I do see you on the trails, you dork. The e-bike people are the freaking worst, you cheaters. Anyway. All right. If you guys are watching over on Rumble, jump in the chat. Say hi. Hope everybody's doing well. Let's get on with some things. We've had some stuff going viral today, haven't we? Let's see. So our border situation's we don't have a border. I don't even call it a border situation, but there's a viral video going around. Let's go to DC Drano over here. So this video is going viral out of El Paso, Texas. Which I don't even get why they're still going to Texas, with the Supreme Court ruling and then them like kicking it back down to another court. I don't even know if Texas is allowed to defend their border. It looks like they're defending their border, but not very well. This video clip was going viral. So again, I don't get it because you go a half mile away from Eagle Pass or I'm sure in a few directions, the border's wide open. So it's very puzzling to me, but yeah, if you guys haven't seen this is coming out of El Paso earlier today. So that's not very encouraging, and I don't know. These people don't exactly look like they're from Mexico. Same old stuff. This is a quick clip from. Have you guys seen these migrant facilities that they have set up? These giant tents, and that they are super secretive about, and they don't allow press in. They don't like people reporting on it at all. Have you guys seen these? Like, this is a migrant facility here. One guy a few weeks ago snuck in and ran through and like recorded. He literally ran through to record. It was funny. They were chasing him. But have you guys seen these? This is drone footage. Looks like there's 3 or 4 of these things. Look at this. It's insane. These facilities are huge, and these are all like filled with cots. Like they're all filled with beds, and yeah, these facilities are gigantic. They're just housing them here, and then they ship them out. They put them on airplanes, put them on buses, and send them throughout the country. Like, think about if we would have said this would be happening like 5-10 years ago. If 10 years ago, when Obama was in the office, when he was talking about how we can't have a 500,000, we can't have 250,000 people coming over the border each year. Can't have that. Can't have that. Got to have a secure border. But Obama talking about all that crap, and now since Biden's been in office, 8 million that we know of have come over here. And if you would have said when Obama was in office, it's like, yeah, we're going to basically open the border wide open, tell people that they can come here, announce that we're going to give them credit cards, housing, food, and everything. We're going to announce that so everybody starts coming here from all over the world. And then when they get here, instead of sending them back or trying to stop them, we're going to process them, put them on buses and planes, and send them throughout the country. And we're going to have cities and states that call themselves sanctuary states that will not deport anybody. They will not cooperate with ICE, even after people commit violent crimes. They're not going to cooperate with them. If you would have said this 10 years ago, people would have thought you were crazy. And now that's what's happening. That is what's we have the border wide open. The Border Patrol isn't Border Patrol. They are the United States Human Trafficking Service, because all they do is process people and bring them in and give them appointments to come back to court in 6 years. It's insane. It's mind-boggling, and it's not by accident. You know, it's documented that the UN, the United Nations, is facilitating this stuff. They're sending them here, and then so the UN and the United States government are working in tandem to invade our country. And then with the ruling about how illegal immigrants can now possess firearms, and I'm still dicey on that situation, because it seems that the person that got busted, he got busted with a firearm in I think it was in Chicago, and it was like a place that you're not supposed to have firearms, and they ruled that he's allowed to have the firearms. I mean, did they rule that he's allowed to carry the firearm? And if that's the case, he doesn't have a CCW. Does that mean we can carry firearms now, and CCW laws are out the window? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So what's to stop people from, okay, now you got all your people here. Say you have bad actors. Say you got cartel members or the CCP, and you organize them. And, you know, they all, once they get here, they check in with the CCP, and they decide they're all going to go to a town or a location within a certain proximity of one another. What is to stop a massive shipment of firearms coming across the border that is dedicated for those people? And now all of a sudden you have an army. You have an army here that's ready to go take over something. It's insane. It's absolutely insane what's going on in our country, you guys. I don't even know where to start. I don't understand how people aren't going absolutely bonkers about this stuff. Then you got, we'll go over to this is from Wall Street Apes, but this is from Information Uncensored, I believe. Here, check this one out. He's just interviewing a group of guys that are certainly not from Mexico. So let's see what he has to say here.
So, but you're from Africa, right? Yeah. Okay, did you come by airplane or?
Okay, now let's just look at what they're wearing, first of all. Do these guys look poor to you? I mean, isn't this like a fancy bag that he's got on? I don't know this brand, Bao Lima. I'm poor though too, and I'm not stylish at all, so that might be expensive. It might be cheap. I don't know. I can't tell if it's a knockoff either. I'm not good at that kind of stuff. But they're not like, these aren't homeless people. They're like, this jacket isn't cheap. I don't know. This is insane.
The plane and the bus and walk and
Plane, bus, and walk. Did you walk?
Plane, bus, and walk. Okay. Who organized all this? Who facilitated all this? This isn't by accident. Look at this guy's bag. You know, these guys. Oh.
From
to Mexico.
Oh, gotcha. So, but you're from.
So just all over the country, or all sorts of different countries or locations are sending people to Mexico to flood our border. All over the place. All people all over the place. North side, that was Coach. I thought it was Coach, but then the strap didn't look Coach. It's probably a knockoff. The RGS, we were here. Sorry we're late. Lots of work tonight. Oh, good, homie. All good. I'm sorry. North side, never mind. You weren't talking about his bag. You're talking about yeah, that's right. I sort of got my career back, guys. So this show will change. The show will change a little bit. The time slots will change. I will only be doing it 3 times a week, but yeah, it's because I will be back in the saddle again. It looks like finally. Can't believe it took over a year that I was canceled, and yeah, I'll leave it at that. I'm not gonna divulge too much information about it, but yeah, I will be back at work starting April 1st, and that's when it'd be funny if it was just a big giant April Fool's joke that somebody played on me, right? So yeah, the show will be changing. I'm going to be streaming on Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. And I'll probably be pushing the show back to 7, maybe even 8 o'clock to give myself enough time to prep. And I know that sucks because then you guys are watching on the East Coast. That's going to be probably too late for you guys to watch, but I got to do what I got to do, folks. And I got to keep it consistent. So yeah, we'll keep going here. That's enough with the border stuff. We got a lot of California stuff to get into, so let's keep going here. Let's see. Nope, I already talked about that. All right. So Prop 1 passed, and that's what we need to talk about. So let's go over to JJ Smith, and we'll see what they're trying to nip in the bud with this whole Prop 1 thing. Well, no, not what they're trying to nip in the bud. What they are saying that they're doing, which they're not going to do, is try to clean up the homeless situation and the fentanyl crisis. So you guys all see the videos coming out of San Francisco and how dystopian it looks, but this might actually be, is this Berkeley? No, it's San Francisco. Yeah, this is San Francisco. Just look at this. This is a dystopian nightmare. It's just, look at this. Like, I've never seen it. It's never been this bad in my life. Oakland's never been this bad in my life. San Francisco's never been this bad in my life. Los Angeles has never been this bad in my life. It's insane. How do we allow this? Hallucinate. Nice to see you. Like, look at this. Look how dystopian this is. Like, we just allow this. They've completely taken over the sidewalk. It's hell on earth. It's insane that we just allow this.
You make it all the way to the here spot? Moving it over. All right.
Did you hear that? Did you hear what that guy just said? He just walked up. Hey, anybody got some crystal? Just seriously, that's how it is now. You can walk down the street. This is like it's worse. It's like if you guys ever been to like a fish concert or a concert like that, just out in the parking lot when they have their little hippie flea markets, you can go and you can get pretty much whatever you want. Acid, mushrooms, pot, you name it. Not crystal meth though. This guy like just walks up. Hey, you got any crystal meth? This is insane. It's insane. Oh, okay. So there you go. So this guy right here with the beads around his neck, that's a dealer. So you can watch these videos and you can spot who the dealers are and you can identify them. Like all of the cops know who the dealers are and they can't arrest them because they know the judges will release them. It's insane. And before Brooke Jenkins, you had Chesa Boudin and then Pamela Price over in Alameda County. And I can't remember her name over in Contra Costa County. All three of them, Soros DAs. All three of them. And they all behave in the exact same way. And I think the Philadelphia guy is also a Soros DA. They all behave in the exact same way. They don't prosecute criminals and they go after regular law-abiding citizens for the tiniest things. So this dude's a dealer right here. If he's wearing this backpack, guaranteed it's filled with drugs, filled with money, maybe a scale. They know who he is. Just he's allowed to openly deal. No problem. Let's watch a drug deal. You see this? Remember this guy came up, he was asking, has anybody got any crystal meth? Now he's buying crystal meth right in front of somebody that's recording and he doesn't care. Off he goes down the street. See what else we can see. San Francisco could be such a beautiful city. I mean, it still is. It's just you got all this crap everywhere. Go around the corner, same thing. And can you imagine this corner market here? This corner market's just trying to run a business, you know? I mean, how many people won't go in there now because it's surrounded by all this crap? People don't want to be anywhere near this. They want to get in and out of this area as fast as possible. So now he's basically like his only customers are junkies. San Francisco destroys small business by what they allow.
Well,
son of a bitch, that thing is fucking gay, dude. Throw that thing out.
Not a care in the world. Just openly doing drugs in front of everybody. They'll smoke crystal meth, shoot up fentanyl, anything wide out in the open. Back when I was a kid, if you wanted to smoke a joint, you'd have to go somewhere off into the cuts and try to run from the cops and all that kind of stuff. Now it's like super hard drugs are openly allowed to be consumed on the streets. It's madness. There it is, drug deal right there. Okay, that dude right there. I guaranteed he's a dealer. This dude right here in the red. See this guy? So he's got a backpack on, face covering. There's only one reason to be doing this. He's trying to hide his face. Like, you know who the dealers are. You guaranteed this dude's a dealer. It's all you'd have to do is follow this dude around from a distance on video and wait for him to do a drug deal, and you got him busted. With laws on the books right now, you could lock them up for a very long time, and there's a possibility this dude is an illegal immigrant. He's not allowed to be here legally. Just right out in the open. That's it. Freaking insane, man. I'll go watch another one really quick. This one's not as long. It's only like 30 seconds. Prior to the border invasion, half the homeless in the U.S. lived in California. I imagine it's more now. Pretty insane. North side, that's near UC and Hastings. Okay. Wally World, what up? How you doing? Don't worry, you didn't miss Scarlett. Scarlett just has, I guess she's over it. Scarlett doesn't say hi at the beginning of the episode anymore. That was like her thing for the longest time. She just doesn't do it anymore. I'm sorry. I don't know why. I don't know why. All right, let's watch one more of these because I'm just sort of trying to paint the picture for prop one here. So this is just another, like, going to a different location, but so all over San Francisco, you get pockets of this crap all over the place now. You know, Haight-Ashbury used to be like the seedy underbelly of San Francisco. Well, the Tenderloin always was. It was always grimy and stuff, but it was never anywhere near like now. And now there's pockets of this crap all over the place. So here's just another dystopian video. It's like 30 seconds long. Just somebody cruising down the street.
You know what now? I have been down.
Dystopian nightmare. What a freaking hellhole. All right, so how does London Breed decide that she's going to correct this problem? Well, San Francisco begins installing automated license plate readers. Okay, let's go to the article here. So that's okay. 400 public safety cameras will officially be installed at 100 intersections across San Francisco. The new license plate reader cameras will be used by the San Francisco Police Department to address public safety issues such as retail and motor vehicle theft, Mayor London Breed announced on Wednesday. Yeah, I feel like these cameras will be used to ticket people that are likely to be able to pay for the ticket. San Francisco already has like a do not pursue policy. If there's a high-speed chase, they know where the fencing operations are, where people go and sell all the stolen goods. What are the cameras for? This, to me, is just another example of, and it's probably a no-bid contract. So 400 cameras are going to go in. Here, we'll just watch this video. Let him talk about it, and I'll react to it.
Crime that includes drones and cameras, and these new cameras which
Now, also happening in San Francisco, the city is ramping up efforts to install hundreds of license plate reading cameras all across the city. Quad 4's Charles Clifford live for us now in the Sunset District, where the mayor just talked about this issue today. We had her on our 3 o'clock program yesterday, and she wouldn't tell me where the cameras were going. What did you find out today?
deal where those cameras are being installed, other than the one camera at 9th and Irving that they showed us today. You know, the mayor who is running for re-election is a big fan of letting the police department use technology to combat crime. That includes drones.
You know why she didn't say where the cameras are being installed? Because she doesn't know. She doesn't know. And I guarantee these are no bid contracts that go to her campaign donors. So away these companies can, away the politicians and their friends can scratch each other's backs is like, hey, we'll donate a ton of money to your campaign, right? But then when you get elected and you enact these policies, we want to get the job. And then when they bid for the job, there's no questions asked. They just sign on the dotted line, and it's a job to install 400 cameras that they'll double the price. They'll inflate their costs on everything, and it's quite literally a money laundering scheme. And that's exactly what Prop 1 is going to be. That's exactly what the high-speed rail is going to be, or I'm sorry, what the high-speed rail has been. That's why it's gone. It's gone insanely over budget. And who gets the jobs? All these unions that will always back Democrats, even though Democrats have destroyed the trades in the Bay Area. Like Apple used to have endless jobs. Endless. There wasn't enough people in the hall to fill all the jobs. Now there's no jobs. There's no jobs. People aren't building conference rooms anymore. The lockdowns destroyed so much for the trades here in California. You Florida folks and Texas folks and states that you didn't even have lockdowns and stuff didn't really change. Things still aren't even close to back to normal. And then when there was nobody in San Francisco working anymore, the financial district used to be bustling every day, nonstop, people everywhere. And then all of a sudden it's a ghost town. But who's still there? The drug addicts, the homeless people, and then everybody just moves into every single little corner. And then when people try to go back to work, it's like, whoa, look at this dystopian hellscape. I don't want to be here. And now there's no more work in San Francisco. There's no more work in Cupertino. There's still work in Cupertino, but Apple's not building. Like they're not building conference rooms anymore. Like what I did. It's Democrat policies are horrible for union workers, but the union leaders always still endorse them.
And cameras, and these new cameras which read license plates. Earlier this year, Mayor London Breed signed legislation that allows the San Francisco Police Department to install 400 license plate reading cameras across the city. The mayor says the goal is to use the cameras to deter crimes, including car break-ins, retail theft, and sideshows.
I had a job once selling software, and I was a product owner for it was a software company for valet, and it was a product called Damage Picks, where you can go and you can take pictures of people's cars before the valet took the car. It was more for the client and to document any damage. Actually, no, it was for the valet, so they could make sure that no, that scratch was there, kind of thing. Part of the software was a license plate reader, and part of my job, a couple of different times, I had to go take a bunch of pictures of license plates, and people don't take too kindly of that, but one of the places I decided to go take pictures of license plates was the Prune Yard in Campbell, California. Well, that's how I discovered that big black building in the Prune Yard in California, right off Highway 17 right there. You guys know the building I'm talking about, the Prune Yard. There's two buildings right next to each other. They're both black. They look like, well, that's how I found out those buildings are FBI buildings, because I was walking around and I was taking a bunch of pictures of license plates. And apparently the vast majority of license plates that I was taking pictures of belong to FBI agents. So that was my first experience with the FBI. They came out of the building and cops all of a sudden started swarming me, asking me what I was doing. They held me there for like an hour. And yeah, that was interesting. That was an interesting conversation. Sorry, just random side note.
Automatic license plate readers can play an invaluable role in helping us to track some of the perpetrators of these crimes and hold them accountable.
The plan is to place the cameras like this one at 100 intersections. Police Chief William Scott says they are a powerful tool for catching criminals.
We have not had the ability to do what starting today.
No, this just seems like a powerful tool to surveil everything that you do, especially when you're not willing to enforce the law. What's the point of the cameras?
we will have the ability to do, and that is track those vehicles when they're used in crime, give our officers the advantage so we can catch people if they commit crimes in the city.
What do you mean? You don't even need that. I'm sorry. Didn't I just show you guys a video of people actively dealing drugs? Like that, you can just go on the internet and see people committing crimes. You're not going to do anything about the people committing crimes. You got Brooke Jenkins in the background here. She just looks so defeated all the time because she's surrounded by all these psychopaths. I actually think Brooke Jenkins wants to do a good job, but she backed Prop 1 and she lost all my whatever support I had for her. She lost it when she backed Prop 1.
The new cameras are being paid for with $17.3 million in grants from the California Organized Retail Theft Grant Program. The San Francisco District Attorney's Office has also received $2 million from that same program. All right, back live now. Now, the mayor says that these cameras, some of which are already up and running, do not have facial recognition technology. They also don't record vehicle speed. But for now, in San Francisco, Charles Clifford, Cron 4 News.
Charles, thank you. And now into the East Bay. Because of license plate readers and store security cameras, Alameda police were able to recover 3 stolen police vehicles. The first incident happened at a Target. A license plate reader alerted police, who looked at that security video to identify the suspect. Police did the same thing to recover the second vehicle at Kohl's, the third at a Walgreens. The Alameda Police Department on Facebook gave praise to their partnership with retail stores and this technology.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see if that works. I don't think it's going to. Alrighty. What do we got next? Okay.
Developing news now as the driver who police say crashed into a...
Okay. All right. Okay. So I brought all that up to talk about Prop 1. Let's see, let me check the chat here a little bit. Required for bids and frequently written, so only one company can fulfill the criteria. Yeah. They do specific restrictions or specific criteria. Yep, you got it. All right, we'll keep going here. So London Breed says Prop 1 will bring more treatment beds, more help, and more care for those on our streets. Along with Supervisor Raphael Mendelman, we have been working to get ready so when the state releases funding, SF is ready. When people are suffering, we can't wait. The gaslighting, it's almost like they're saying these things to intentionally troll us, to intentionally demoralize us, because everybody can see all the things that have been happening, and there's so many things that can be done without any additional funding right now. I talk about it all the time. A 30-day detox in jail is way better than nothing. They're not opening rehab facilities with this money. So more beds, more treatment beds. What does that mean? What does that mean, more treatment beds? These aren't rehab facilities. So what are these? Like, are you talking about safe injection sites? That's what I feel like a lot of this money is going to be put towards. Safe injection sites, like that one I played a couple nights ago. That's just a hellhole. It's literal hell on earth. Okay, we'll keep going. See what Gavin Newsom has to say about Prop 1. Oh, I hate this. I do hate Gavin Newsom. Like, I hate him. Gavin Newsom has been in charge of San Francisco or California my entire adult life, since I was in high school. He was the mayor of San Francisco when I was in high school, became the lieutenant governor, and he's been the governor for the last however long. He's been in a high-level position to do something for decades, and nothing. California has just been on a downward trajectory basically since I graduated high school in 2001. It's insanely frustrating. So Gavin says Proposition 1 passes. This is a huge victory for doing things radically different when it comes to tackling homeless. The biggest change California has seen in decades. Now it's time to get to work repairing the damage caused by decades of broken promises and neglect to those suffering from severe mental illness. Thank you, California. It feels like he's trying to do a dig and blame this on Reagan for shutting down the asylums. Like we used to have one in Santa Clara. From my understanding, Reagan actually shut down a lot of these asylums under pressure of Democrats, and it has been Democrat rule ever since. Don't call freaking the governor a Republican. Yeah, he ran as a Republican. He was a Democrat. Democrats have been in charge of California my entire freaking life. And progressives will still try to blame Republicans and Trump for all the insane things that are going on in California. And he says, this is what I'm talking about when it says it's like they're trying to troll us. He says the biggest change California has seen in decades, repairing damage caused by decades of broken promises and neglect. Your broken promises and neglect, your money laundering, you stealing from Californians and lining the pockets of your friends. With the Panera Bread scandal that just broke, it's all of that. It's all of that same crap. His entire career has just been embezzling money. It's sick. It's truly psychotic what they do. Keep going. Let's see what somebody smarter than me has to say about it. So this is from David Ameti, MD and PhD. I like this guy a lot. We DM back and forth. We talk a lot. He definitely has a much more professional and pragmatic approach than I do. He is far more professional than me. I'm the guy that says, fuck you, no. He's the guy that is very polished and tactful with his speech. That's just not how I roll. But this is what he has to say to Gavin's Prop 1 passes, and we're going to fulfill our promises. Gavin, I almost called him Gaviner. Governor, 20 years. Oh, so he's writing this as if he's talking to Gavin Newsom. Governor, 20 years ago, you became the mayor of San Francisco and promised to cure homelessness. You promised the state the same when you became governor 6 years ago. The broken promises to which you refer are yours. And each time you gaslight the people and come back saying just a few billion more, I promise, it's spot on. Do homeless and mentally ill Californians need help? Absolutely. But are you the person that we can trust with billions more of our hard-earned dollars to achieve that after 2 decades of broken promises, corruption, and evaporation of tens of billions of dollars that likely lined the pockets of your pals? No. Oh, you are taking the words out of my mouth, my friend. You have nothing to celebrate. You spent millions on getting this passed, yet the margin of victory was a statistical fluke. This was by chance, no different than if you had 7 million coin flips. You didn't win anything. You failed to achieve the landslide win you'd recently promised and predicted. Instead of celebrating an accidental win, go back to work, talk to people who know what they're doing, and start cutting spending rather than adding even more to it. Whoo! Yeah, he just smoked him, roasted him, and he did it so politely. I mean, I'm the guy that said, fuck you, Gavin, your lizard face. Like, yeah, he's much better than I am. Yeah, that's spot on. So like, that's the thing with Prop 1 as well. Gavin talked about how it was going to win in a landslide and everything, and it barely passed. And well, it's what I think we are now almost 14 days, almost a full 2 weeks. No, we're like, it was March 5th. Oh yeah, we're 16 days. We're 16 days past the day of voting. All those ballots should have been counted that same day. 16 days past. I don't even think they've counted 100% of the ballots. They're just saying that they won. Mail-in ballots, like universal mail-in ballots, like how that became a thing. The easiest way to commit fraud has always been with the like you used to have to request an absentee ballot. They were called absentee ballots because you're out of the country, out of the state, or whatever. You'd have to request one. Now everyone gets mailed a ballot automatically. And this is because during COVID, they didn't want people going in person and voting. Well, which if COVID was a like real scary, if it was as real and scary as they made it out to be, which it wasn't, that would have been maybe acceptable, but they kept that policy in place. And just now all of a sudden, everyone gets mailed a ballot. Everybody. And there's no requirement to show ID when you vote. It's insane. Ballot harvesting is legal. That's insane. You get 1 month to vote. That's insane. They start counting the votes before election day. That's insane. Then they have infinite amount of time to count the ballots. That's insane. All these things together are absolutely insane. Not to mention, it's the honor system to prove that you are actually a United States citizen to vote. That's insane. The DMV automatically registering people to vote. That's insane. Every possible way, like each one of those things increases the chance of fraud happening. Each one of those things together, all of those things together, we don't have elections. California does not have elections. We have show trials. That's all this is. There's no possible way you can call these elections secure. There's no way. I'm not even joking when I say that Russia has more secure elections than we do. Are they legit? Is Putin the, iron fist guy and shakes people down and forces people to go to the booze? Maybe. I don't know, though. I'm starting to think that all the things that I've been made to believe about Russian elections aren't actually true. And California elections are less secure than Russian elections. It's, again, universal mail-in ballots, no signature verification, a month to vote, counting ballots before the election even starts, as much time as they want to count the ballots, honor system for if you're to say that you are actually a United States citizen, the DMV automatically registering people to vote. And then, not even talking about the voter rolls, not cleaning up the voter rolls. It's madness. I don't know who trusts California elections. It's frustrating isn't even the word. It's not even the word to describe it. So let's go back to 2008. Like, this is when Gavin Newsom was the governor of San Francisco. The mayor of San Francisco. And this was his plan back in 2008. Listen to him talk about it in his own words. Remember when he talks about decades of broken promises? Well, whose promises is he talking about here?
We believe fundamentally that food solves hunger, that shelters solve sleep, and that housing solves homelessness. And if we're going to solve the problem of those that are out on the streets that we define as homeless, we better solve the housing problem if we're going to have an impact. And that's why we established this framework, what we call a 10-year plan to end chronic homelessness in San Francisco. We believe.
So for what, 15, 16 years now, he's been saying that housing is the problem. Housing is the problem. All we have to do is take tons of taxpayer dollars and then build low-income housing or housing that's going to be used to house the homeless. All we have to do is build these facilities. What is that? It's no-bid contracts and union jobs. And that's what I'll say too. We're creating union jobs. No, you are giving no-bid contracts to the union leaders that endorsed you, gave you tons of money towards your campaign, and now you're paying them back because you're not checking how much they are charging. Like, what's the cost for all the drywall? How much is that marked up? What's the cost for all the copper piping that's going in? How much is that marked up? All these costs that are inflated. Again, it's no bid contracts. This is how they grease each other's wheels. This is how they scratch each other's backs. This is how they embezzle all our money. This is where all our money goes. It goes into the pockets of the uber wealthy, and we get caught holding the bag. And the homeless problem never gets better. It gets worse year after year. We have no recourse. We don't have actual elections. They steal our money. They give it to their friends. They don't enforce. Crime runs rampant, and then they go after us for the pettiest little things in order to recoup their money. They'll raise the toll charges, and not fix the roads. They'll hire more California Highway Patrol officers, the only agency that they haven't defunded. They'll do that because that agency brings in the most money. They write people tickets on the highway. They probably target cars that look more expensive and not the junk beater cars because, why would they do that? They can't pay the bill anyway. And, it's just going to be a waste of resources. California is the most corrupt freaking state. I'm sure other states are really corrupt too, but it's so blatantly in your face, just robbing and stealing from you. And everyone's a sitting duck. If you defend yourself, you'll go to jail. Meanwhile, criminals can run roughshod on all the big cities. They don't listen to gun laws. You think they have 10-round magazines? That too, restricted to 10-round magazines. And Gavin Newsom wants to have an assault weapons ban. If Gavin Newsom could, he would make my AR illegal overnight. He would do it. And then he would say, we have to turn it in. And if you don't, you're a felon. Like that, he would do that. Dude's a psychopath. All right. So let's see how the Los Angeles Times is reporting on Prop 1, shall we? Kind of curious to see what they're saying about it. Okay. So this is the LA Times. Voters approve Proposition 1. So right off the bat, it's like a freaking fraudulent headline. Voters approve Proposition 1. Did they? Did they though? Because it came down to like 20,000 votes, I think. It was like a 20,000 vote difference out of 70 million people that voted. The slimmest of slim margins. And it barely passed. And the only reason is, I think with all the fraudulent ways of voting that they have in place, I think they can make up for a 15 to 20% swing. I really do. I really think that's how fraudulent our elections are. I think they can make up for a 10, 15, maybe even 20% swing. And that's why it seems so one-sided in California. It's not as one-sided as it seems. It's not this 70-30 every year. It's like 70-30. 70% people vote Democrats, 30% people vote Republican. I don't think that's the case at all. I really don't think it's anywhere near that. It's all right. Voters approve Proposition 1, Newsom overhaul of California mental health system. Okay, let's see how they're reporting it. The LA Times is Gavin's mouthpiece. Like all they do is, remember, they're the ones that called Larry Elder the blackface of white supremacy. That's who this is. During Gavin's recall, when Larry Elder's running against them, the blackface of white supremacy. So keep in mind, that's who we're reading from right here. So the close contest over Gavin Newsom's $6.4 billion bond measure to transform California's mental health system finally ended Wednesday, more than 2 weeks after the primary election. More than 2 weeks. Isn't that insane? Just that right there too. It's all the fraudulent ways. Though election officials have until April 12th to certify the results. Oh, okay. So that's what they put in place. So that's the law. So they give them 5 weeks to count the ballots, you guys. 5 weeks. March 5th was the election. So you got universal mail-in ballots, ballot harvesting, no voter ID, and 5 weeks to count the ballots. How can you say the elections are secure? I'll say that again. You've got universal mail-in ballots, no voter ID, ballot harvesting is legal, and they've got 5 weeks to count the ballots with little to no supervision. Okay. Though election officials have until April 12th to certify the results, Proposition 1 led with 50.2% of the vote when the race was called, with more than 7.5 million ballots counted statewide. This is the biggest change in decades in how California tackles homelessness, and a victory for doing things radically different, Newsom said. Now counties and local officials must match the ambition of California voters. This historic reform will only succeed if we kick into action immediately. State government and local leaders together. Oh yeah, he needs to pay back people. He's getting shaken down by somebody. What mob people are shaking down Newsom? The Associated Press called the passage of Proposition 1 on Wednesday. Proposition 1 approves the issuance of $6.4 million bond to support 10,000 treatment and housing beds and reconfigure a 20-year-old tax for mental health services, also fund treatment on drug addiction. Okay, so your taxes are going to go up again, and they're going to build 10,000 beds. That's what this was? 10,000 beds? The people that did vote for this, you're insane. You Californians that did vote for this, that just repeatedly have the wool pulled over your eyes, you are the problem. So all voter fraud stuff aside, you vote blue no matter who, people here in California, and the vast majority of you are super wealthy elite that will never step foot in the Tenderloin. You'll never walk around the grimy parts of the cities. You don't have to deal with crime. You got private security, all this stuff. It isn't the poor people and the middle class people that are voting for this stuff. It's the super wealthy elite. And we're sick of it. We are absolutely sick of it. The plan is essential to Newsom's strategy to address California's homelessness crisis, an approach that departs from the liberal model of voluntary treatment to a more moderate stance of compelling people with severe mental illness and substance disorders into care. So what does that mean? You got 10,000 new beds. Okay, you're not reopening the sanitariums. What does this mean? What are you going to compel them? Enforce the law. I convert jails into treatment facilities. I mean, what do you mean by a treatment facility? Lock someone in a cage. For the first couple of days, you give them IV drips to get fluids into their system, detox them, let them shit and piss themselves, because that's what they're going to do for 3 days, and start getting them good food. You could do this with existing jails. You don't need 10,000 new beds. The bond measure is an important piece of his policy because it provides funding for beds that counties said was essential to accomplishing his goals. Okay. So it's a money grab, you guys. That's all this is a freaking money grab. We don't need any additional funding you don't need additional funding. Defund all of the non-governmental organizations that are running around handing out fentanyl needles and foil. How much money is spent on that? How much money is spent on giving drug addicts paraphernalia to use drugs? How much money is spent on that? Defund them, put it into converting some jails or parts of jails, wings of jails, into these facilities that you're talking about. You don't need 10,000 new beds. You already have them. It's okay. But the measure also faced criticism from civil rights groups on the left. Of course they did, which are concerned about the repercussions of funding secure mental health facilities, and his GOP opponents on the right, who scoffed at the estimated $14 billion price tag amid a massive state budget deficit. Yeah. Despite millions spent by the Yes campaign, pollsters say Proposition 1 barely squeezed through because the lower than expected voter turnout that inflated Republican share of the electorate. Okay. Election returns showed that inland counties and parts of Southern California opposed the measure, while a majority of voters in Los Angeles and San Francisco Bay Area backed the plan. You don't say. You don't say. The liberal bastions voted for it, and all the rural areas didn't. And the coastal elites, like where I'm at. Newsom's campaign made a strategic decision to place the measure on the March ballot because it believed it would withstand a more conservative electorate. Holding off until the general election in November, when more Democrats are expected to vote, could have boosted the measure's chances of success, but also would have left Proposition 1 competing with other bonds for voter support. So there's a strategic reason for him separating it out from the general election. The California Against Proposition 1 campaign said the measure wasn't a huge win for Newsom, but an embarrassing squeaker of a victory. Damn right. But cutting off the services and reducing early interventions programs, Prop 1 could have the perverse effect of increasing the number of people homeless and in need of services, the campaign said in a statement. I promise you guys, if you took a head count or a census or whatever of all the homeless, drug addicted people on the streets of San Francisco right now, we'll just focus on San Francisco and LA too. took a head count, I guarantee you 2 years from now, it will have increased. I promise you. I guarantee you this will not reduce homelessness because you're not getting to the root of the problem. You're still allowing illegal immigrant drug dealers to operate with impunity. You're still allowing people to do whatever they want on the streets, do drugs openly in front of schools, right on the streets. You're still allowing all this. You're not addressing the root of the problem. All this is a money grab. Who's going to build these 10,000 beds? 14.4 billion. Is that what it was? How much was it again? Yeah, 14 billion for 10,000 beds. How much is that per bed? Like, this is all I've seen is that it's new beds. What is this? Newsom took a victory lap of sorts at a news conference touting the measure's passage on Thursday morning in downtown Los Angeles. Los Angeles County Sheriff Robert Luna, standing on stage with medical professionals in white coats, the head of the large firefighters association, local state elected officials, and other supporters of the proposition joined a chorus of praise for Newsom. Of course they did. All the Newsom sycophants. Luna said that by approving the measure, voters would be giving sheriff's deputies, police officers, and other first responders more alternatives and better solutions as they responded to people struggling with mental illness and addiction. I believe this is going to reduce the workload for deputies and our police officers out in the field, Luna said. Luna said the measure would reduce the number of encounters that law enforcement officers have on a daily basis with people in crisis and would reduce the county's jail population in the long run. How so? You're just saying words. You're not saying how this is going to do that. Speaking last, Newsom described the measure's narrow victory as historic, but also addressed the slim margins head on. We recognize and clearly, soberly, we're reconciling the fact change has its enemies. Is he calling the people that voted no enemies? It sounds to me like he's calling half the people that voted enemies. We recognize clearly, soberly, we're reconciling the fact that change has its enemies, Newsom said. Change is tough, change is hard, and so these have been a few long weeks, sleepless weeks. Public was cynical that just spending more money would solve the problem, he said, adding that he shared that cynicism and believed this reform would offer a completely different dynamic. It's going to work this time, guys. This time, the billions of dollars that we throw at the problem, that we've been doing the same thing for 16 years, it's going to work this time, you guys. It's totally going to work this time. Man. Okay. This unbelievable. I can't with this guy. I don't know what else to say, you guys. He's impossible. Northside. Well, I don't exactly call Newsom my friend. Yeah, okay, that's fair. It's hallucinate. Oregon, when the mail-in ballots in 1995 hasn't had a Republican governor since. Oregon went to mail-in ballots in 1995. Universal mail-in ballots in Oregon, like across the board. It's been that way since 1995. I didn't know that. That's kind of insane. That should tell you something. Yeah. And it's not just in California. This is spreading throughout the country. They are locking up Democrat rule. And Democrats aren't the Democrats of the 90s. These are radical Marxists, many of them. Gavin's not a Marxist. I don't think Gavin's a Marxist. He's just a psychopath. He's just a greedy psychopath, and he'll adopt any political philosophy that he has to that'll get him reelected and line his friends' pockets. He's not like Obama. Obama's a freaking Marxist, but it's so frustrating, you guys. It's so freaking frustrating. All right, let's keep going here. Let's hop over to Oakland. Yeah, so the anarcho-tyranny continues. So this is this story out of Oakland here. This really got my goat last night. This really baked my biscuits. Let's see. So, with all the things that are happening in Oakland, like Oakland is a hellhole. Oakland is an absolute hellhole. Like the sideshows that are every night, the internet, the intersection takeovers, stores getting robbed left and right, cars getting broken into, cars getting stolen, carjackings, just super violent crime all the time in Oakland. Like nowhere in Oakland is safe now. It's insane. And what are they doing? So this is from KTVU Fox 2. It says 102-year-old Oakland man ordered to clean up graffiti on his fence or pay thousands. And so I just said, if it wasn't for government, who would allow crime to run rampant in your city and find your 102-year-old grandpa when they vandalize his fence? People are robbed, beaten, and murdered every day in Oakland, and this is who Gavin goes after. They hate you. So let's go to the article. It's true. It's freaking insane. This is who they go after. And again, money. Like that's all they care about is extracting money from the poor and the middle class. They don't care about actual crime. They just want to recoup their dollars. Let's watch this video.
Uses a wheelchair because of the graffiti. KTVU's Tom Vakar joins us now after spending some time.
Sorry, I'll start that over.
A 2-year-old man targeted by vandals.
But then the city of Oakland cited the man who uses a wheelchair because of the graffiti. KTVU's Tom Vakar joins us now after spending some time with the man and his family. Tom?
You know, like enforcing any printed law, it takes judgment and discernment in knowing how and when. Wheelchair-bound, Oakland-born, 102 years old, Victor Silva Sr. often finds graffiti painted onto his back fence of his Oakland home where he's lived and paid taxes for 80 years. Earlier this month, he got a violation citation from the city of Oakland to remove it by Tuesday the 19th or face an $1,100 fine plus an additional $1,277 for each failed reinspection.
It was so absurd. It's like a joke. If you drive around the city and see the graffiti everywhere, it's just, I don't know what to say.
I thought somebody's crazy. In his younger years, before the wheelchair, he often painted over the graffiti himself.
Had a roller and a paintbrush and painted it. It was very, very easy. Because I was a contractor, you know. I'll be 103 in 2 months or so. That slowed up a little bit, you know.
These days, that task falls to his 7.
What a king that old man is. First of all, you know, he's talking about, I'll be 103 soon. I've slowed down a little bit. He's still out there painting the fence.
70-year-old son, Victor Jr.
It's hard to keep up with it because as soon as we get it painted, it's going to be graffiti on it again. And it won't last.
But like you said, there's graffiti right there. Who's fixing that?
Now, this utility box has 6 different kinds of graffiti on it. I wonder if the utility got a citation. The family owns a nearby small commercial building which has been broken into 3 times in the last year. On one occasion, Victor Jr. found
Anarcho-tyranny, guys. His business has been broken into 3 times. So does he get to find the city? Does he get to say, hey, you guys aren't providing the police that we pay for through our taxes? You're not providing the protection that we need. Like, are we going to have to go to the mob to provide protection now? Because you're not holding up your end of the bargain, and you keep finding us for graffiti on my own fence. Meanwhile, 50 yards away, you've got this utility box with graffiti all over it. Are you finding the utility company? No, they're extracting money from the poor and middle class. That's it.
On a person inside. In each case, he called 911.
And I'm put on hold every time. So it's hard to understand where our tax dollars are going. They can't.
Calls 911 to get help, and he's put on hold. Meanwhile, he's not allowed to carry a firearm. It's anarcho-tyranny. They're setting everybody up as sitting ducks, and they extract money from them. It's the ultimate subjugation. It's like it's on purpose. It's like they hate you, and they want you to suffer.
can't answer 911, but they can come out and hassle you about a fence.
I had to ask, how does one live to 102 or 103?
Very easy. Just keep breathing and, behave yourself.
I would hate to think that there's other 100-year-old people that are being harassed like this. Oakland has to change. It's just the system's not working.
The city inspector called me back and said he will do an immediate inspection and presumably cancel the citation. Tom Bakar, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
Now, again, it's important to say that the city says through an inspector that will actually go out and do this, and that should take care of it. It's very interesting. I also sent a note of an email to City Hall. No answer from them. Back to you.
Yeah, it's just an incredible story when that man said, they can't answer 911, but they were out writing citations for, people who are 102 about graffiti on their property. So it seems like this, at least in this case, Tom, this has been cleared up for this man.
Well, we'll see. It's still subject to reinspection. And you have to realize, these organizations, these big cities, so compartmentalized, they each go out and they do their own thing. And then that is as it should be. But sometimes you have to really start thinking about who are we really affecting here, or stories like this end up on the air, and it doesn't do the city any good.
No, it sure doesn't. Well, I'm glad you did the story on him, Tom.
So if this story wasn't put in the spotlight, if the city wasn't put on blast for this, they'd still be going after him. And like he just said, you've got all these little decompartmentalized groups they have tasks that they're supposed to do. You got all these different city managers, and they go out and they find who the easiest targets are for them. They're just like criminals. They're just like criminals that are going to go around and rob people. The criminals aren't going to look for the really big guy that looks like he works out and looks like he might be carrying a firearm to rob. That's not who they're going to go rob. They're going to go rob the little old lady. Well, that's what these organizations do as well. They go and they're like, okay, we need to write fines and tickets and things to people to recoup money for the city. Well, who are the people that are most likely to pay it, and who are the easiest targets? That's what they go after. They're criminals. They're freaking criminals. They don't do anything about violent criminals. It's anarcho-tyranny. Oakland is the perfect example of it. It's disgusting. It's freaking disgusting what happens in California, all over the place. We'll keep going here. So frustrating. So, yeah, we'll go over to Seneca Scott here. Seneca Speaks over on the X platform, and this is a video he shot. It's this little interview. So he says, Black Oakland, especially in the East, is fed up with Mayor Shang Tao. Funny how the people that have turned against them, some want to drop identity politics and start with the let's come together talk. Yeah, we are coming together to kick you grifters out of our city. I like Seneca. Seneca's awesome. He doesn't take no shit from anyone.
All right.
I'm saying, why you think that the mayor should be recalled?
Because she ain't focused on nothing. Her whole campaign in the beginning, I said she shouldn't have been in here in the first place. Her whole campaign was talking about school parks. But we got all of these homeless people. We got people that don't have no jobs. They're going through real problems here. We got potholes in the street. Crime is at the highest it's ever been. Right, but she's talking about it's at 40%. I seen her on the news the other week talking about it was a 40% drop in rate. I'm like, in crime. I'm like, I don't know what area she's going to. Maybe where she stay at.
And that's another trick that they do too. They'll say, well, there's been a 40% drop in crime. And it's like, oh, since when? They'll pick some arbitrary date and time, and they'll say, okay, that's when it was highest compared to now. So let's say it's been a 40% drop since then. That's all they do. And then you'll also notice it's like, okay, people just stop reporting crime. So when people stop reporting crime, it doesn't go on the record.
But if she comes to the real Oakland is going through turmoil. You can't go downtown no more. You can't even gotta take an Uber when you go downtown just to leave your car safe. You know what I mean? Like, so it's crazy. Like, she needs to be recalled.
You hear that? You can't drive downtown. You got to take an Uber to downtown because your car will get broken into. Your car will get stolen. In-N-Out's leaving. In-N-Out's gone. Like, In-N-Out's been there forever. And the A's are gone. The Warriors left. Oakland is in shambles right now.
Because she hasn't focused on anything. We don't have a chief of police. The only thing that was actually rooted and grounded here She shouldn't even be mayor, because how you come to this city and tell this city the best way to operate and you're not from here?
That's the thing too. She fired the chief of police when she got into office.
You didn't go to no elementaries here. You didn't go to no middle schools here. You didn't go to no high schools here. You didn't go to no junior colleges or colleges here. You didn't do anything that would have rooted you to be a part of Oakland to say, this is how it should function or this is how it needs to flow. Oakland, we don't get nothing. Close the Denny's on Hagenberger. In-N-Out's about to close. You close the dining rooms for all of the Taco Bells in the local Bay Area.
Oh yeah, that's that. I forgot about that. Taco Bell made it so it's only drive-through only. Like there's no, you can't eat inside Taco Bell anymore.
That's outrageous. You telling me there's nothing that you can do to put a stop to that? Maybe if we had a chief of police or somebody that cared enough to put one in, not somebody that's gonna do a whole year almost of her being in office and we don't have a chief of police. That's crazy.
All right.
My buddy, so one of the reasons I talk about Oakland so much is I used to live in San Leandro and I used to work in Emeryville. And I had a buddy that lived in Alameda and my other buddy, Lauren, that lived over by Lake Merritt. And I would go to Oakland all the time. I love Oakland. Oakland's a great freaking place. The weather's fantastic in Oakland. The weather's always fantastic because it's right off the bay, but it's not like San Francisco weather where it's cold all the time. Oakland's fantastic. It's got great history. There's a ton of iconic buildings. And, you know, there used to be the Warriors, the A's, great food. Oakland has better food than San Francisco, if you ask me. Well, they did. Emeryville, Oakland, Berkeley, great food, great barbecue, great taquerias. They had a Hofbräu there. I mean, Oakland, I loved Oakland. I really loved Oakland. And it's just, in San Francisco too, it makes me mad what has happened to it because, I mean, we don't have tourists coming here anymore. Like Oakland, San Francisco, the Bay Area has always been a place that everybody wants to come. It's iconic food, iconic structures. We used to pride ourselves in being good, welcoming people. You know, all these people that talk about acceptance and compassion and shit, they've become authoritarian assholes. The Bay Area used to be a great place. Back in the 90s, early 2000s, it was a great place to grow up. It was a great place to go watch a game. It was a great place to go out for a night on the town. It was safer. It was never perfect, obviously, but what they've done to California and its cities it's disgraceful. Gavin Newsom should be in prison. They've destroyed this state while lining their pockets. The corruption has reached a boiling over point where everyone can see it. Everyone can see, well, except for the freaking people in their ivory towers that continue to vote for all this crap, that are rich enough to afford private security or rich enough to have a garage that they can park their car in, that live up on hills, that have, you know, security systems and stuff. But this shit's even going to start touching them. They used to say crime don't climb, like people that lived up on the hills, crime don't go up there. It bet your ass it's going to start. It's so frustrating. I mean, I get this mad about it because of how much I love California and I loved San Francisco and I loved Oakland. I'm from the Bay Area and it's disgraceful. It's freaking disgraceful. And then this is what you got each night. You got this shit. This is what Oakland locals have to deal with every night. So this is I show sideshows like every episode, but there's this sideshow where a chick got hit by a car and then people start shooting right after.
Chill. She got smacked. Hey, nigga, you got that? Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
I mean, wouldn't that be classified as a mass shooting? You've got gunshots going off all over the place into a crowd. You guys even hear about this? No? Weird. I wonder why you didn't hear about this.
It's time to go.
Who got shot? Who got injured? Who died? Who knows? Oakland is a dystopian hellhole. Gavin Newsom. So frustrating. All right. Ganko 1, nice to see you. It is disgusting. Yes, 100%. RGS, mail-in absentee used to be for the military, the informed, or the extreme cases, but you're right. They just went to the cheat. Yep. The RGS. Assault weapons is a BS term. Absolutely. Any weapon can be used to assault. Yeah. That's why I have a fin on my freaking AR. It's the only reason I don't the only reason I don't handle my firearms when I'm doing my show, like that right there might get kicked me off of YouTube. I don't even care. I didn't handle it though. It's still holstered. It's still holstered YouTube. So don't worry. You're not supposed to handle firearms when you're streaming. So it's still holstered. So I don't know if I was technically handling it there though. But I have I have one of my favorite guns in the background right there. That's my Marlin. That's my 4570 Marlin. It is fantastic. It's the guide gun, not the trapper, not the SBL. It is a fantastic gun. Yes, I put a scope on it. I don't care. And that's my grandpa's old. It's a Stevens Browning model 1620 shotgun, pump action shotgun. Great gun. The stock's cracked, so I can't use it, but it's in perfect operating condition. It's it's a great gun. Gun's made back in the 30s, and it breaks down into two pieces. It's really cool. Like it's just got like a little screw on it. You can break it down into two pieces and put it in a backpack super quick. It's a pretty cool gun. I've never fired it because it's, again, got a cracked stock. Vince Lund, did you hear about the carjacking and shooting in Sac State today? I did not. Should I? Was it a big deal? Yeah, I haven't heard anything about it. Eric, would you redefine crime as non-crime? Of course, crime stats go up. Exactly. Yeah. Yep. North Side, East Bay. The East Bay is still the best, coach. You should swing through sometime. I used to, my bar was Scoby's over in Alameda. That was the bar I used to go to all the time. And the reason I loved that place, my buddy still, I'm sure he owned his house over in Alameda. I haven't talked to him in forever, Chris, but I lived in San Leandro, and before that I lived in Castro Valley over by Val's Burgers. And yeah, I would go freaking party with my buddy Chris, and Scoby's was our place. Scoby's and Lucky 13. Those are the bars that we hung out at all the time. And Scoby's had a great freaking kitchen. Like you could go there and get like a rack of lamb. I mean, it was really good food. And there was a bartender that I was in love with there named Dorothy. Shout out Dorothy. I don't know if she still works there though. But yeah, that was a long time ago. That was like, geez, at least 15 years ago now. It was a while. But yeah, my buddy Lauren, he still lives over by Lake Merritt. I used to go to, what do they call them? Off the grid night. It's fantastic. Just off the grid night, goes live music and all the food trucks. It was fun. It was fun. I'm sure they still do that stuff, but it's, you might get robbed. You might get mugged. That's always a possibility. It was a possibility even back then, but now it's so much worse, and it should be obvious with how everybody's leaving. It's sad. It makes me sad, you guys. All right, let's keep going here. There's other stuff I wanted to get into. So, all right, let's talk about some New York stuff really quick. It's more anarcho-tyranny. So, here, I'll start with this one. So this is Scott Baio. Scott Baio got arrested. I like Scott Baio too. I think he follows me. I need to check. So Scott Baio's in New York. Scott Baio didn't he used to have a house in San Francisco in Pacific Heights? Anyway. All right, let's go over to Kyle Seraphin, the former Fed boy. I like Kyle though. He's awesome. Let's see. So this is out in New York, and Scott Baio got arrested for throwing pizza. So he threw pizza over on the lawn there of whatever building this is. And there he goes, getting arrested. Circumvent. Get a circumvent. Oh, that's not Scott Baio. Never mind. That's the okay, never mind. I don't know why I thought it was Scott Baio. Now this guy's always doing stuff like this. I like this guy's awesome. He makes some great videos.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're live right now outside of City Hall in New York.
Littering is a fine. You're
Here we go.
absolutely being arrested for littering. This mayor is corrupt. This is a fine. This is not an arrestable offense. This is not an arrestable offense, and you guys should be ashamed of yourself.
It's funny at this point because like that's what the cops will arrest you for. You people are getting knifed and shot. Remember, New York is a hellhole. They're just allowing anybody from anywhere in the world to get shipped to New York, and they're just putting them up in 5-star hotels, giving them free meals, all this stuff. Meanwhile, they're organizing into gangs and robbing people and things like that. And who's getting arrested? Somebody for throwing pieces of pizza.
For following his orders.
Yeah, we are coming in hot right now, folks.
Oh, not to mention Letitia James, going after Trump, and they're talking about seizing his freaking Trump hotel now. It's that whole thing. I haven't even covered that. That situation's out of freaking control. Talk about weaponization of the judicial system. I haven't even gotten into that on any of my episodes.
Mark, you want to give us a little heads up on what's happening?
Yeah, so Scott is taken into custody after maybe five or so slices.
What was the essential purpose of the speech there?
It's
This dude's righteous.
So we've got our first arrest. Is that the only arrest, or is anyone else getting involved in this?
That's the only one I saw.
I wonder what our friend Larry Sharp has to say about this. He's a New Yorker. I wonder what he says about all this stuff that's going on.
That these 4 men, these 4 blues have to follow your fucking corrupt ways. How dare you? You got better things to worry about. You're worried about pizza. Worry about protecting our children of New York City. How about you start worrying about that, Adams? Instead of lining your pockets, hanging out with drug dealers.
Same problem. New York's got the same things going on that's happening out here in California. It's almost like they have the same ideology ingrained in their demon minds.
How dare you allow this to happen to the greatest city in New York? I'm born and bred here, and you making a disgrace out of the city, Adam. You're a one-term sperm.
One-term mayor. So we're at least four slices.
This isn't the fake outrage that you see the left do either, talking about trans rights as if trans people don't have the exact same rights that everybody else has. It's not this fake stuff saying men should be allowed to change in women's locker rooms. That's a whole other issue that I need to talk about. But this isn't that. This isn't asking for something that they don't already have. This is him just saying, like, dude, stop allowing people to get murdered all over the place. This people that should be locked up, keeping them locked up, which we'll get into in a second here.
Made its way.
Yeah.
Okay, we have another one, a large one, right down there. We're at about 5 slices before the police did move in. Well, I would say it peaked at Philly Friday night, which is a new record for us, but I would bring it back down to a British parliamentary debate.
All right, now we've just got garlic breath and harsh words.
Right.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, so I don't know. I guess that's a thing that they do, and I guess that was Eric Adams. It's like the mayor house. It's the White House of New York City, if you will. I guess you New Yorkers let me know, but I guess it's something where they throw pizza on the lawn, and it's like some form of protest that they do. So, okay, well, that I guess since it's coming directly at Eric Adams, of course he's going to arrest them. But if it's a bodega worker that gets attacked by a dude and his chick and literally gets stabbed in the arm, and then shanks the dude attacking him, that's who they'll go after. You guys remember that? The bodega clerk that they tried to lock up, and then it got a ton of attention. So he was forced to release him. That dude fled back to whatever country he was from. I can't remember what country he was from, but he left. He was like, no way. It's safer back where I was from. Like, New York's out of control. And yeah, anyway. Gank 01. Birds will eat the evidence. Damn straight. City Hall. Oh, okay. City Hall. All right. Vince Lund. Okay, I can't click on any links that are put in the chat like that. So yeah, maybe DM it to me. India? I don't know. I don't think it was India. But we'll keep going here because this next one is why I wanted to actually talk about this. So this is from Sean Fitzgerald, actual justice lawyer. He's got a great YouTube channel, you guys. He covers all sorts of different topics, but he does a really good job. Each little video that he does is about one topic, and he breaks down the topic and he gives his 2 cents on it. And he does a really good job. And he talks a lot of crap about the Young Turks, and it's pretty funny. But this is him talking about Anna Kasparian, and I think he secretly has a crush on Anna Kasparian, and so do I. And she's hot. I can picture you guys. Anna Kasparian is she's hot. So let's listen to Anna Kasparian get really mad about stuff that are happening in New York. It's good to see. It's good to see Anna getting red pilled.
Dismembering a corpse and hiding a corpse after dismembering it. Not bail eligible. Not a serious crime.
So you just saw a guy get arrested for throwing pizza. They found someone. They went to somebody's house. They were in the house with the body parts, a dismembered body with blood like in the drain all over the place, like clearly a murder scene, a murder and dismemberment scene. They were released without bail. This is why Anna's mad. I can fix her.
I'm not even kidding, guys. Like when Joy Behar outlined that case, I was like, she's crazy. This isn't a thing. This isn't real. This isn't real. So I looked it up. It's real, guys. It's real. Listen, if being on the left means supporting this, then I'm not on the left, and I'm okay with that.
She's getting super attacked from lefties too, because Jack's trying to, it's just the extreme left. It's just the people that are hardcore. No, this is leftists. This is who the left is now. Jank was just on Pierce Morgan with Rabbi Shmuley, and Jank made Pierce Morgan. It's crazy when somebody is so freaking extreme that they make Jank look based, and that's Rabbi Shmuley is a whole other thing. That dude is a psychotic maniac.
So let me give you the details of the case.
It doesn't mean that.
Okay, I don't know. Let me give you the
Behar's
details.
On the left. We're all on the left. We don't want people dismembering folks getting released. Only a couple of lunatic.
Some do.
I know. What I was in the middle of saying is only a couple of lunatic activists are like, yeah, we're pro dismemberment guys being let go. Okay, whatever. You don't represent the left at all.
Dismembered bodies. It's so unfair to put them in prison. Okay, let me give you the details of the actual case, okay? So 4 people were arrested in New York after body parts were found in Long Island. Okay, dismembered body parts. The victims were, 2 people from Yonkers, older individuals. Suffolk County Police say 44-year-old Stephen Brown, 38-year-old Jeffrey Mackey, 40-year-old Amanda Wallace, and 33-year-old Alexis Nieves were charged with concealment of a corpse, tampering with physical evidence, and hindering prosecution. They have not been charged with murder. Prosecutors told a judge there was so much blood in the pipes, sink, shower, and toilet of the Railroad Avenue home in Amityville where the suspects were arrested.
Amityville? It's an Amityville horror? How ironic.
That it was deemed uninhabitable. Police said they confiscated meat cleavers, butcher knives, flesh, and body parts. Attorneys for Brown and Mackey admitted admitted that their clients lived in that home where the body parts and all that blood was found, but denied chopping up the 59-year-old woman and 53-year-old man whose last known address was in Yonkers. Wallace also lived with Brown and Mackey in Amityville. Police said that Knives is homeless. Okay.
What? They didn't charge him with murder, and they released him without bail. Okay, here goes Anna.
All 4 pleaded not guilty. The judge released them without bail. They were fitted with GPS monitoring and must report in person probation and surrender their passports.
I don't care about their passports.
Dude, guys, like what? Okay, so did further research because I just couldn't believe it. Here's more. With 2019 state reforms, mutilation and disposal of murdered corpses are among crimes that are no longer bail eligible. The DA said the 4 went to barbaric lengths to cover the crime. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing, Cenk?
So I love this. I love it. I love it when she gets all worked up like that. I might find it mildly attractive. It's hilarious watching her get red pilled like this because it feels like she's slowly starting to see like, yeah, there's nothing liberal about this. There's nothing progressive about this. It's just insanity. And it's starting to look like it's all by design. Like they want just absolute chaos and all of us to be stuck in the middle of it and fighting each other and being distracted and overwhelming the systems like Cloward pivot strategy.
What are we doing? What are we doing? Someone tell me, what the F are we doing?
Yeah, look, no one signed up for this. I don't know how the hell any of these laws passed. I went to every progressive conference there was over the last 20 years. I never heard a single person saying, why don't we let the actual criminals go? Hey, if someone butchers someone and chops them up into little pieces, let's do the kind of criminal justice reform where they would be able to walk out free.
Yeah, come at me right now and tell me I'm the bad guy because I want these people who dismembered corpses and tried to conceal the evidence in prison. Come at me and tell me I'm the bad guy. Come at me.
I don't look, guys.
Insane, you guys are insane. Anyone who thinks this is okay is insane. And everyone else in New York has to suffer the consequences of this with random bag checks at the subway by National Guard troops.
I can fix her, you guys. I can fix her. Okay, well, all right. That was all I had for New York. Freaking insane. Okay, keep going here. Check in with the chat. Unreal. Okay, so birds will eat. Okay, I already said that. Yemen. What's going on in Yemen, RGS? Yeah, what's going on? Something happened in Yemen that I should know about? I mean, something's been happening in Yemen for a very long time, but is there something specific that happened in Yemen that I should know about? Because New York City just mandated pizza places must cut smoked out. Oh, yeah. No, I just listened to an interview with a guy that had to come out of pocket, like, I think it was like 80 grand to update his stuff, to put a new flue because they had to resize it and all this stuff. And yeah, just because of this new policy that New York implemented, it's just like New York is so similar to California. They want to have all these. Oh, the bodega worker. He was from Yemen. He fled back to Yemen. What? New York was too dangerous, so he went to Yemen. Oh my God. Are you sure? Is that, you got to be kidding me? That's what? A dude from Yemen thought New York was too dangerous, so he went Yemen. Okay. All righty. Unbelievable. Yeah, so New York implements all these green policies, and what is it? It just crushes small business. Oh, Yemen. Oh my God. Okay. All right. Let's keep going. I got a little bit more stuff I want to talk about. Okay. So yeah, let's talk about this bill that they're trying to pass. This 1,000-page bill. You guys, You guys see this? So, oopsies. I guess at like 2 a.m, this bill got released, and they're supposed to vote on it in like 10 hours later or something like that. So here's Marjorie Taylor Greene. So she says the minibus was released at 2:32 a.m. and is 112 pages long. Pages of $1.2 trillion taxpayer dollars. And we are supposed to be voting on it tomorrow under suspension with no amendments allowed, with the super scary government shutdown deadline threat looming tomorrow at midnight. Okay, so they got like 24 hours. It takes 27.8 hours for the average reader to read 1,000 pages. I guess we are supposed to just pass it first and then find out what's in it, like Nancy Pelosi says. This comes after months and months of hardly any effort to pass a single issue appropriation bill, while 3 counting resolutions continuing Pelosi's budget were passed. Our Republican majority started this Congress with a sweeping rule change to stop this very behavior, yet here we are on the verge of passing a second minibus under the suspension with no amendments allowed and violating the 72-hour rule. So when Mike, what's his name? Mike Johnson, I think that's his name. I might be messing that up. When he became the speaker, they said all these bills require 72 hours. 72 hours, that's it. So let's read some of the comments here. Shut it down. Voting on a bill that have not been read should be illegal. I agree. The federal government needs to be shut down and reformed. We are the ones paying for it. Release it, and collectively we will find a gazillion rounding down, thanks to the unacceptable in hours past nothing. Speaker Johnson, why are you doing exactly what the Dems have been forcing for years now? Why are you not getting back to single bills? So everybody's saying vacate the seat. Okay. All right. Okay. So that's going on. So let's see what Speaker Johnson has to say about it. So Speaker Mike Johnson says, to hell with the 72-hour rule. This is from MJ Truth Ultra. Speaker Johnson says, to hell with the 72-hour rule. There's nothing sacred about 72 hours. The idea that you want to allow legislation to be reviewed adequately before they vote on it. All right, let's watch this video. It's from Fox News.
What's the pushback on the 72-hour rule? You said we're going to get this done by Friday night, but that would mean violating the 72 hours.
There's nothing sacred about 72 hours. The idea is you want to allow the legislation to be reviewed adequately by the members before they vote on it. We're trying to maintain it even in a time crunch.
So lawmakers are racing through more than 1,000 pages of the $1.2 trillion bill. Some conservatives are exasperated with Johnson for agreeing to the plan with Democrats.
Well, it's so disappointing. Avoiding the 72 hours for 1.6 trillion counting. Had 12 billion earmarks. This is even more. It makes no sense. What he did was basically took what Schumer wanted and said, okay, to avoid a shutdown. To have 1,000 pages to read in 24 hours, a speed reader couldn't do that.
Now, what's the pushback?
All right. And Matt Gaetz says 2 a.m. $1 trillion spending bills which increase inflation and fund the invasion are not acceptable. Okay. You guys think it's going to pass? I kind of feel like it's going to pass. What's in it? I don't know. You guys know what's in it yet? I don't. Oh, man. Okay. Is Johnson being blackmailed? Blackmailed, I would say no, but it's sort of amazing. No, but we probably know who's greasing those wheels. I'll just leave it at that. Okay, let's keep going. Here. Okay, so there's another one from MJ Truth Ultra. So go back to it here. I'll put the this on screen. It's just something I randomly came across, and it's pretty disgusting. So, I mean, the video is not super disgusting, but we'll watch it really quick. We'll watch the video before I talk about it, so you guys know what happened. If it pops up, my computer's been running super slow again, and I don't know why. Sorry, guys. I'm trying, I promise. Okay, here we go.
Hey, look at him. Have a good night, little nigga. Be smooth with it. Hey, look at him. Have a good night, little nigga. Be smooth with it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so he died. So a 61-year-old homeless man, Donald G. Mitchell, living out of his truck, was beaten to death by 4 young men. This video is recorded by one of the thugs mocking the man as he laid on the ground dying after they broke into his truck. No national news coverage. Why? Well, you know. They punched him, kicked him, stomped on him, and dragged his body across the ground, according to bystanders. The thugs' names: Christian Emerson, Arlen Sangster, Damian Kitzgrow, and Brandon Boehm. Christian Emerson was charged with recklessly endangering safety. He was held on a $50,000 cash bond. Court records show the bond has been posted, and Emerson is free at this time. Who posted 50 grand for this guy? Are you kidding me? Because you can't. A cash bond means you can't get a bail bondsman to help you out. You got to post the cash. So somebody posted 50 grand for this guy. With an April 3rd court appearance set, the other men's charging statuses are unclear, but 3 of the 4 men were let go on bail and are roaming free. They deserve the death penalty. So they kicked, beat, and dragged this guy across the parking lot, and he's dead. And they're out on bail. Okay? Like, this is in Wisconsin. Stevens Point, Wisconsin. Is it a Soros DA? I'd be very curious. Stevens Point, Wisconsin. Is the district attorney there a Soros DA? Because that fits the exact profile of a Soros DA. What they do. Who posted the $50,000 cash bond? So yeah, this is just stuff that's happening, like left and right. Here's a picture of the dudes. So yeah, these guys. These are the guys that beat the man to death, and 3 of the 4, at least, maybe the 4th, are just out roaming the streets. Perfectly fine. That's what we're dealing with, folks. That is what we are dealing with. So, I didn't even know I could do that. How about that? All right, this will be the last little thing I talk about here. Check the chat really quick. The cash bond, all you need to do is post 10%, so it'd be $500. No. That's a regular bond. A cash bond, from my understanding, a cash bond, you need to post all of it. Like, that's why they stipulated cash bond. Like, you can't go to a bail bondsman. That's how a normal bond works, is you only have to put up 10%. But yeah, from my understanding, when they specify cash bond, you got to put up the whole amount yourself. So I don't know. Don't fact check me on that. I might be wrong. All right. So this is out of Haiti. Oops. So Haiti, 1 week. This is from Mario Narwhals. Haiti, 1 week after the complete gang control, more than 200 gangs in Haiti have reportedly reached a temporary truce agreement so they can concentrate on overthrowing the police force to gain control of the country. Residents claim the country is a week away from losing power to the gangs, and the U.S. has started using chartered helicopter flights to evacuate people. I wonder I'll get a little tinfoil. I wonder what CIA members went and organized these gangs. Just saying. Send in Hillary Clinton. I'm sure she'll solve the problem. Okay, that's it. All right. Yep. I think that's let's see. Bondsman will post the kind of bond they'll require at home, such as collateral. Right, but when they specify cash bond, like they didn't just say bond is set at $50,000. They said cash bond. Usually it says cash bond only or something like that. So yeah, it's. I thought that meant they got to put up all the money themselves and they can't use a bail bondsman. Could be wrong. I don't know. I've never had to post bail, so I wouldn't know. Okay. All right, folks. I think that is all I got for the night. RGS, Ganko 1, Northside, Vince, Lund, Eric, Danger, Wally World. All you guys, thanks for hanging out. Much appreciated. I will be over on the RGS's podcast tomorrow night. I will probably be simul streaming over on my channel if I can figure out how to do that. All right. Yeah, that is all I got for this evening. I will be on that podcast tomorrow. So maybe I'll do an early show tomorrow night if anything crazy happens in the day that I feel like I need to talk about. But yeah, that is all I got for the evening, folks. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you so much for hanging out. I much appreciate it. But before we get out of here, Sunshine Daydream, nice to see you. Before we get out of here, you know how we do it. Got to read a joke from the greatest book ever written, The Truth About Chuck Norris. What do we have this evening? All right. Okay, here we go. You guys ready for the Chuck Norris joke of the evening? Here it is. Some people eat pepperoni on their pizza. Some people have mushrooms. Chuck Norris usually has Venezuela. And on that note, stay CaliBased.